simplify. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is move all of these out of the way. I'll move them down there. All right, I'm going to need a lot of room here. Let's start with our first term. So the square root of 8 can be written as 2 squared times 2, because 2 squared is 4, times 2 is 8. X to the third, well, we can rewrite this as x squared times x, and y to the fourth is y squared squared. So let's move on, and then we'll simplify this further after we're done with the rest of the terms. So we have plus y squared times the square root. So 128 is 64 times 2. Well, let's actually just rewrite 64 as 8 squared times 2. 8 squared is 64, times 2 is 128. Then we have x to the third power, which is the same thing as x squared times x. Moving on, we have negative. So 98 can be is 49 times 2. So we have the square root of 7 squared, which is 49, times 2. X to the third is the same thing as x squared times x. And y to the fourth is y squared squared. All right, and finally we have minus y squared times the square root. 12 is 2 squared times 3, and then x squared times x. All right, there we go. Now let's go through and simplify. This 2 squared, the squared cancels, the 2 moves out front, leaving behind a 2. X squared times x, the squared cancels, and we move 1x out front, leaving 1x behind. And y squared, the outer squared cancels, and we move y squared out front. Here we have 8 squared times 2, so the squared cancels, we move the 8 out front. We have x squared times x, this squared cancels, we move an x out front. All right, here we have 7 squared times 2, so we cancel out that squared and move a 7 out front. We have x squared times x, so to cancel out that x squared, take this x, move that out front, y squared squared, cancel out that outer squared, and then take y squared, move that out front. 2 squared times 3, so cancel out that squared, move that 2 out front, x squared times x, cancel out that squared, move this x out front. Now let's go through and simplify. So we have 2 moving out front, we have x moving out front, we have y squared moving out front, and then what's left in here is a 2 and an x. Next, we say plus, we have an 8 moving out front, we have an x moving out front, and we already have a y squared out there, times whatever's left, 2x. All right, now we have a minus sign, so we're moving a 7 out front, an x, and a y squared, times radical 2x, that's what's left. And then minus, we have a 2 out front, we're moving an x out front, we already have a y squared, times radical 3x. All right, so we have like terms here, here, and here, but we have a radical 3x over here, so we can't combine that one. But that means that we can combine the coefficients 2, 8, and negative 7, which gives us 3. And then we write the rest of the like terms. So 3 times x times y squared times the radical 2x. Then we have this piece over here, which does not combine with anything, minus 2xy squared times the square root of 3x. So our answer is B.